So
Yeah, I've seen they have these big boxed-in black ones.
Yep.
And they're
Soft
square.
boxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want my cool wave brakes.
Hey, welcome back to Dove Tech Talks. I'm your host, Eddie Horton, and today we're going to be talking about 2014 Toyota Prius. Don't laugh. You might end up buying one. Gas prices keep going up in the state of Illinois. Everybody's going to be driving a Prius. I mean, it's the only thing that gets, 51 miles to the gallon in the city. In the city. 5-1. 51 miles. Now, it ain't, my race truck, the Danger Ranger, it don't get that good mileage. I might have to park that baby, I mean, that V6, she sucks the gas. So, now listen. It was the 10th of December in 1997, just before Christmas, and they brought the Prius out. It was perfect timing for a Christmas gift. But is a Prius really a Christmas gift? I mean, no, it's not. I see you shaking your head. No, man, that car is not the best looking car, but it does get some good mileage. So, take the good with the bad. I mean, I've seen some of you. Woo! Time to take the good with the bad. All right, this is for all you guys and gals out there that hug the trees and love the flowers. This one's for you. We have got the ultimate vehicle for people that love the earth and want to save the earth. Hey, I'm all about that. Let's make it be here longer so we can do more things with it. But if you get this car, you're doing a lot of good. You're doing your part. It gets 51 in the city. It gets 48 on the highway. And I'm assuming that's because on the highway there's such a huge load that the internal combustion engine has to kick in to keep up with the demand of the batteries. So that's the only reason I think it's lower on the highway. Usually it's the other way around. This one's opposite. But it's still, 51 in the city and 48 on the highway, that's a ton of mileage out of a car. I mean, you're sipping gas in this thing. Here's what's cool about it. You don't have to plug this car in. Everybody's got these new cars. They're all electric. You plug them in, you wait, and it's like half. And you get to drive 50 miles. Whoop-de-doo! I drive a lot more than 50 miles just going to McDonald's and back. So here's what you need to do. You get you a hybrid, because guess what? When you're driving down the road and the batteries go down, the engine kicks on with the generator and it charges them back up. That's awesome. Because now you're helping the planet, but you're not stranded out in the middle of nowhere when your batteries go, because that would suck. All right? So listen, there's a lot of great features about these little cars. The tires, when you got to buy tires for these things, they're only like this big. See it? That big. And they're cheap, so they don't cost that much money to put tires on this thing. So you're not spending $1,500 on 20-inch tires on an SUV. These things are probably put tires on it for $300. And if you go to Walmart, $150. I wouldn't drive around very fast on them, but it is a Prius, so it don't go that fast.
I want my cool wave brakes.
The battery in this thing that drives the propulsion system in this car is a 202V nickel metal hydride. I got it right. I've never heard of this battery. I know they use it in all the cars, but it's not something that we work with every day in the automotive field on a regular vehicle. Now, it also has another battery. It has a regular battery that starts the internal combustion engine. So these two batteries are totally different. You can change that 12-volt one. It's not a big deal. You get into that other one, and it's going to light you up like a Christmas tree. You remember Clark plugs in the lights, and it shocks him. That's what you're going to look like if you go messing with this battery in this Prius. Like 240 volts. That's enough to, that'll knock the clothes off of you. All right, so be careful with this thing. It's no joke. Now, the good news is, if you buy one of these things, I think the warranty's transferable too. If you buy one of these things, the battery is warranted for 10 years or 150,000 miles. And that's on the 2014. I just looked it up today. Now, they last for 12 to 15 years, and they're warranted for 10 of those 12 to 15. So it's not that bad. Here's the downside. If you get one and something malfunctions in this battery, online, and I know you guys like buying parts online, I got no problem with it like I've said in previous shows, but This thing's $1,500, from 1,000 to 1,500. And then if you're going to buy one from, like, say, Napa or somebody else like that, I mean, it can be from $4,500 all the way up to almost 6,000. These batteries are very expensive. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you 100 times. Don't replace that battery at home. I know there's a lot of videos out there and showed it. I watched them. But how many of you have what they call zero protection gloves? These are lineman's gloves. That's what you have to change this battery. And this is not for somebody that's going to be watching the phone like this. Okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? All right, can I do that? Oh, I don't have that tool. No. You will land your butt in the hospital, getting a ride to the hospital in the back of an ambulance with your hair smoking. I mean, this thing will light you up. Do not change this battery at home. Unless you're a trained professional on hybrid cars and batteries, don't touch this battery. It will kill you. It will light you up like a Christmas goose. I'm talking about it. You're gonna come out of the back of that car after you touch that battery, and you're gonna look like one of them steaming goose that comes out of there for Christmas. The smoke coming off of it, you know, when they show it on TV, that's gonna be your head. It's gonna be smoke coming off it. Don't change the battery. Don't do it. And not you. And not you. And I know you ain't smart enough, so don't touch it. All right, let's talk about some of the problems they have with these cars. Some of the problems they have with these cars is brakes. When you got to replace part of the hydraulic system on these brakes, they have problems with this proportioning valve. It has to be bled in a specific way, and you got to have a scanner to do it, and you got to do it as a specific procedure to do it. That's probably going to be best left to professionals. Take it to the shop, pay the money, and have it done so you don't have a code. Here's the funky thing about these cars. There's a little triangle with an exclamation point. That's your check engine light. When that thing comes on, it can be a whole host of problems. You got to get it read. You got to get it checked out. Take it into a service garage. It's a reputable place that knows what they're doing. Even here, we don't do very many of the electric cars. We change the oil on them. We do that stuff. We don't even change the batteries here. It's a whole nother set of tools that I just don't own. And so those jobs have to go back to the dealers where we tell them to take them. So nobody gets hurt and your car doesn't burn down to the ground when somebody does it wrong. So there you go. I said it. I don't do them. And I never say that. I do everything. But you don't want to play with these cars. They will hurt you. Now, another problem they have is a steering angle sensor. And this goes out and it'll throw a code. Again, you'll take that in because you want to make sure that it's not a failed steering angle sensor. Because if it is, you could have steering issues that get very heavy and then you can't turn the car and it could cause an accident. So make sure you get that checked out professionally as well. Another problem they have is EVAP problems. They have EVAP problems. Who doesn't have EVAP problems? Nowadays, it seems like every car we talk about, we have EVAP problems. I don't know what you engineers are doing out there, but you need to get in the shop, fix these cars with me, and say, we screwed that up. We need to make a better system. Because your EVAP systems, it's terrible. Come on now. You can do better than that. I mean, that's why they pay you 7 figures a year, to make it better, not make it worse. We ain't had this many problems with EVAPs ever. And now they're just all the time, it seems like. Now, the last but not least problem they have with these cars is, this is a funny one, because everybody calls it the Cracker Jack box or the squeak box or a little bit. These things, when you're driving down the road, you turn the wheel and the struts move. They squeak or they creak or they make noise or they rattle on washboard type roads. Washboard type roads, let me give you the definition of that. Washboard type roads, you can come to any Illinois small town and find those. That's where you find a washboard type road. You drive down these roads and they're rattling and rattling and rattling like this. It's nothing you can really do. You got to take it in. There's a TSB on it and they got to replace the struts. And here's the problem. A TSB does not mean free. A TSB just means they know what the problem is. There's just not enough of problems that they're going to call a recall on it. It's not a safety issue, and there's not been enough of them with that issue. So yes, if you got to put struts on it for that reason, you might just bite the bullet and live with it. Maybe spray some WD up in there and get them to quiet down a little bit because it's going to be expensive. All right, let's talk about the price of your first 2014 Prius. It's crazy. It's a huge gap. $9,100 on the lower end with about 117,000 miles on it, all the way up to, let me check this number, $14,000. Yeah, $14,000. And that's got 76,000 miles on it. So it does got a lot less mileage on it, but that's no, I mean, that's a lot of money. $14K for a Prius. I mean, are you willing to do it? It ain't no Chevelle. It's a Prius. The electric, little bitty car. If you seen me in one of them, you'd be laughing for days. It doesn't look good. I mean, you know, it's like trying to fight an alligator in a phone booth. You know, getting in and out of this thing is a nightmare. It's just terrible. So, if you're going to spend a lot of money, I guess if you want a Prius, you can do that. Not me. Now, here's the best part. So we was talking about accessories and wheels, right? I mean, we're big on accessories and wheels. We want you guys to know what you can get for your car. I'm going to read the list to you. So you ready for this? You ain't going to believe it, because these things they're mega ugly from the factory, right? I mean, this thing, you can get exhaust, performance upgrades, fuel upgrades. You can get suspension upgrades, brake upgrades, cold air. You can get stereo upgrades. You can get body kits. Are you ready for this one? I don't know how this works, and I don't know what would happen to it, but they make a nitrous oxide system for the Prius. Who in the heck's doing that? Who's paying $14K for a used car and putting nitrous on a Prius? I mean, I guess if you want to go from 30 miles an hour to 40 miles an hour, it'll help. It's only 1.8 liters. It ain't that big. I mean, you go shooting some nitrous to this baby. Whoo, hold on, 40 mile an hour, here we come. It's kind of embarrassing. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make fun of you Prius people, but come on, it's a Prius. So you just I don't even know what to say about these cars. They do great. These cars are awesome. The kids that have them for college, they're loving them. The single moms that are having them, they love them. The older gentlemen and women, and they're driving around this thing for a trip, they love them. They got tons of room inside, and they get great gas mileage. And you don't got to plug it in. It's great. So, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? I'm kind of torn. It's not my favorite car, but when you talk about price versus an internal combustion engine on repairs, it's a lot less. So, I don't know. You got to do it. You got to have something fuel efficient. That's your car. So, let me give you the law dog bite of the day. Don't let the dog bite you, because he's expensive. I just remembered what it was. You know what the law dog bite of the day is? This is a great one. If you buy a Prius, you get a tax break. They'll give you money back for buying a Prius. They're going to give you the money back. They ain't going to send you a check, but on your taxes, you can get up to $5,000 back on your taxes for buying a Prius. Who'd have thought it? But, hey, that is all we've got for you tonight on Dub Tech Talks. I'm your host, Eddie Horton, and next time, watch out, because we're going to have a great show. You're not going to want to miss it. If we said something wrong tonight, make sure you put it in the comments, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and check us out every Wednesday or Thursday or, whenever we see you again. Bye.